and welcome to the ThinkMHK podcast presented by the Manhattan Area Chamber of Commerce. On this podcast, you will hear from a variety of people from across the region, including community leaders and business owners. You will hear their Manhattan stories and hopefully get to know your friends and business associates a little better. Thanks for tuning in today. This episode of the ThinkMHK podcast is brought to you by Kansas State University. Celebrate 160 years of innovation at Kansas State, the nation's first operational land-grant university. With a rich history of fostering inclusivity, accessibility, and cutting-edge discoveries, K-State will continue to lead the nation as the next-generation land-grant university with its bold strategic plan, Next Gen K-State. Our guest today on the ThinkMHK podcast is another one of our award winners from our last business awards. It's Bill Bahr, who's partner at Arthur Green LLP. Of course, Arthur Green is a law firm here in town and has been a great partner of the chamber. So welcome to the show, Bill.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
So the question we always lead off with, because we think people are really interested to learn more about their neighbors and their fellow chamber members, is talk a little bit about yourself and how you ended up becoming an attorney and how you ended up in Manhattan and how you ended up with Arthur Green.
Very good. Well, originally native Kansan, grew up in Great Bend, Kansas primarily. Went to K-State here, so I had a connection to Manhattan and to K-State. Knew my wife in Great Bend, but met more here in Manhattan at K-State. Went to law school in Lawrence at KU, and we were looking at different opportunities around the coast and metropolitan areas, and determined that we enjoyed college towns and really enjoyed our time here in Manhattan. Arthur Green had a great reputation for the type of work that I wanted to do, and we moved back to Manhattan, and it's just been a great opportunity for us and a great place to raise a family, and been happy with our decision to be back here.
Yeah, so talk a little bit about that experience, because we have a lot of people, either attorneys in town or in Topeka or other places, the capital, you meet a lot. Went to undergrad at K-State, then went to law school at KU. Do you carry the purple with you, and you just, or is that something that you try to cheer both on, or how does that work?
No, good question. And I think, at least I can speak for myself, very partial to K-State in the undergrad experience, and big K-State fan. But I also have been appreciative of KU and my experience there, and really enjoyed Lawrence. I have a daughter that is a graduate of K-State. I have a daughter currently attending KU. So there's a little bit of loyalty both ways, but really Manhattan has been great to us and our family, and it's been a good choice for us.
Yeah, and how long have you lived here?
Moved back in 1997.
Okay, all right. And your wife is here, and you have kids still here, or are they both?
Yes. Wife, we moved back in 1997. She's a counselor at USD 383. Mm-hmm. Our oldest graduated from K-State. Middle daughter is currently at KU, and then we have a daughter in high school, sophomore in high school here.
All right. So talk about Arthur Green. How did it get started, and what do you do in Manhattan?
Yeah, Arthur Green was started around 1950. So we've been in town for a long time, a good presence in the area. It started with Charles Arthur and Charles Green, originally founded the firm. And they were, it was a foundation of kind of a business firm even at that time. And then it has grown over time. Currently, we have 7 attorneys in the office, primarily business-oriented firm, and so we have a lot of our clients are chamber members. And our region is Manhattan and an hour or so around Manhattan. We try and we service business, banking, real estate, estate planning, litigation. We try and help individuals and businesses in their legal needs, and some preventative work, help them with those things. And sometimes if there's adversarial items or things that need attention, we help them with that too. And we try and be a good partner for our clients.
And so you only have the office in Manhattan, correct?
We only have the office in Manhattan. We service a lot of clients in the region. Mm-hmm. Certainly with technology today, we can do that. But currently, we are based in Manhattan and are fortunate that a lot of businesses and individuals in town we appreciate them being our clients over the years, and we've helped them in many ways over the years.
But as a general rule, you're pretty much business issues, not criminal or family, or is that?
That's a good description. It's a lot of business and individual and contract work. We do not do any criminal work, and we don't do any domestic work.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So why is having a strong legal advocate important for businesses?
It's a number of things. A lot of times for our clients, we provide certainly legal work for them when they have questions. A lot of times we're general counsel for them. They're not big enough to have an attorney on staff, but they contact us if they need contract work or employment work or business items, and we're kind of an advisor as part of their team in that role, and we appreciate that, and we're trying, as businesses grow, sometimes their needs expand as well, and that's why seeing the growth in Manhattan and the growth of the chamber is really important. We see that when our clients, as they experience different things and need additional services, we help provide that.
And we recently had a forum where we talked about the people you need when you start a business, and one of those was an attorney. And so if I'm thinking about starting a business, because sometimes I'm sure you get brought to the table and you go, you should have called me 9 months ago, we could have fixed this. Why is it important to maybe bring somebody in earlier than maybe a person would have expected?
Yeah, very good question. And a lot of times we are at that table early, and a lot of time the earlier the better. If an individual either is starting a business or has started a business, sometimes it may be important, for instance, to incorporate that business, whether as a corporation or a limited liability company, to kind of have a separation from their personal affairs versus their business affairs, and just knowing some of the employment issues and knowing some of the legal ramifications of their actions, or if they want to grow or open a separate business. A lot of times we prefer having that prospective education and discussion to help prevent some problems, rather than an issue arises and then we have to deal with that problem, which occurs too. But certainly we try and be an advocate for those businesses and help them, whether they're starting or in the growth phase.
And I would assume if somebody doesn't know whether they need an attorney or not, you all would help direct them as to whether that is something that would be in their best interest or not, just kind of as free advice.
100%. We can help evaluate whether they need that assistance or not. And that's something that we get contacted on a regular basis. So,
and this is kind of off the cuff, but as a general rule, how many businesses do you think you work with in a given year?
That's a great question. We have hundreds, if not thousands, of clients, some individuals, some businesses, and then some you're in contact with on a regular basis, and others is more of a one-time thing. But we certainly are appreciative of all the clients and all their needs that they have us assist with.
Yeah. So you're an important part of our economic landscape, maybe one that people don't recognize or think about very often because you're kind of always working in the background.
That's right. A lot of times we are in the background. One of the things we really enjoy is seeing the businesses locally have success and grow and see that help happen. And a lot of times we maybe on the front side of things that are new in town or coming to town, and are aware of that and helping businesses in that way as well.
Yeah, particularly on the real estate side. I know you've been at the table with us in a number of times when we've been talking to prospective tenants representing the property owners, and so
that's right.
That does happen quite a bit. So you all are headquartered here, and all your attorneys live here, basically,
yes.
Whether in town or on the edge of town. So what makes your firm and Bill Bahr specifically optimistic about the future of Manhattan?
Well, we really see a lot of good happening in Manhattan and the region. Going back to one of the earlier questions, we came here because it's a college town with a lot of the amenities of a larger community, but the benefits of a little bit smaller community. And with the foundation of K-State and Fort Riley, and then the business growth that has happened here, we think the future is really bright for Manhattan. We've seen that in just socially, but also in our clientele that keeps growing that base. But it's also, people are very interested in Manhattan continuing to thrive and move forward. And I think we see that energy, particularly on game days and just on a foundational level. People want to be here, and we just need to make sure that we continue the actions necessary to recruit businesses and recruit young professionals to see the benefits of Manhattan and continue to stay here.
Yeah, so let's talk about recruiting young professionals for a minute. So you all you don't have a lot of people, but you actively work to recruit new people to the community on a semi-regular basis, and you're recruiting people who can basically live anywhere in the country they want to live, and in a lot of places probably make more money because their clients in those regions are paying more per hour for those services and those kind of things. So when you're pitching Arthur Green in Manhattan, Kansas to a new graduate from KU Law, what are some things that you pitch, and then in return, what are some things that really make an impact, you think, to those young people?
I think as far as a pitch, what we try and say is, you're going to be doing important legal work that's going to be interesting and you should be passionate about, and helping the clients. You'll get that experience early by working at Arthur Green. Secondly, we pitch the benefits of Manhattan, and that it is a great college town. It's a great place to live. It's a great place to work. It's a great place to raise a family if that's things that they're looking forward in their future. And then on the retention side, once they're here, we try and get them assimilated into the community, whether that's in working in nonprofits, whether that's going to K-State activities, McCain events, chamber events, all of those things to get them assimilated into the community. And I think it's rewarding to be a part of the community and help those around and be involved in those activities. And we try and mentor our younger attorneys in that same way. Yeah.
And of course, that's one of the reasons why we revamped HYPE, our young professionals group, because our employers were telling us if they can get people engaged in a community that they're more likely to stay here. So along those same lines, and I know no one wants to say anything negative, but I think it's important that people understand when you're recruiting these kind of individuals, what are some of the challenges that you have, and other than, well, I can be here and make more money in Kansas City, for instance?
No, that's a good question. It's one we need to identify and work on. And part of it is wage. Part of it is what type of amenities does the community have. Sometimes we also have to recruit if one of our prospective candidates is engaged or married. We have to recruit the spouse as well. So you're looking at other opportunities for them and really trying to zone in on what are their interests and how it matches, and why Manhattan is a good opportunity for them, both in the short term, but we also try and sell the long term. Why Manhattan is a good place, a good business environment for them as a young professional.
What makes Manhattan special to you and your family?
For us, Manhattan is our home, and it's a place where we've been able to, from on a professional level, my wife and I have both enjoyed our areas of work, and it's been impactful for us on a personal basis and a professional basis. Manhattan, we're not native Manhattanites, and one thing we sell is it's a good place. It's a very welcoming community. For if you're not native here, welcome to those, and you can easily assimilate into the community. It's a good place to. There's a lot of nice amenities, whether you're in outdoor things or art things or sport, athletic things. It's a good place to be involved in all those things and make those connections. And it's just an excellent community where people are community minded and want to improve things and continue to improve things.
Yeah. It is interesting in university communities how many people who end up being citizens and residents aren't really from there, and so university communities typically have to be more open and engaging than
I think
other
that's
places.
exactly right.
Yeah, so it's interesting. So you all were just recognized this year as the Small Business of the Year at our business awards, and so congratulations
Thank you.
on that. What did winning that award mean to you and other people there at the firm?
Well, it meant a lot to the firm. We've been involved in the chamber for many, many years, and we feel it's chamber's vital for the community. And we recognize that we're appreciative of our clients that are part of that success, the attorneys and staff at the firm that are part of that success, and we just think it was a nice recognition of the years of service, and it gives us a little motivation to continue that in the future as well. And there were excellent businesses recognized at that event, and it was just nice to be part of that and to be recognized, and we're very appreciative of it.
Yeah, it is interesting. A lot of people may not recognize you're a small business, but you have, you said 7 attorneys, but how many employees?
We roughly have 14 to 15 employees.
So, I mean, that's very small business.
Right, right.
So, again, congratulations for that. And you talked a little bit about being engaged in the chamber, but why is being involved in the chamber important to you?
The firm has always felt like being actively involved in the chamber is critical. To have a kind of finger on the pulse of what's going on in Manhattan. B, a lot of our clients are chamber members, and so it's a good way to network and be involved that way. And also just what we've been talking about, the chambers on the front side of what's happening on the business community in Manhattan, whether that's new businesses, helping existing businesses, or just we're talking about recognizing and networking events. And so all of those things tie into our mission and things that are important to the firm, and it dovetails nicely with the chamber activities.
And we appreciate all your participation. A lot of people don't know this. Andy Ellis was on the committee that hired me, so I definitely appreciate Andy's participation. I assume he voted for me. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. He's now my neighbor, so I see him. So I see him quite a bit. And it is interesting. My sons asked me one day, "Who's the guy that walks the dog in the suit all the time?" Because like you, Andy has a suit all the time. So I said, "Oh, it's Andy. He's an attorney." He's like, "Oh, okay." But we appreciate your engagement. We appreciate Arthur Anderson's involvement with us over the years. And again, congratulations on your award. So
thank you very much.
We are now moving into the infamous part of the podcast, and it is the rapid fire section.
Okay.
And these aren't hard. They're just, we pick 10 questions and ask you to answer those in as short as time as you can. Although we don't time you and we don't cut you off, because sometimes there's good backstories to some of these, and we always like to hear the backstory. So are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So number 1, describe your perfect day.
Perfect day would involve time with family, hopefully time with some friends as well, maybe getting outside a little bit, having some good food and making some good memories. That'd be a good day.
What do you want people to remember about you?
From a professional standpoint, hopefully that I assisted them with all my efforts and energy, and provided some assistance to whether that's individually or their business in a good way, in a professional way. Personally, hopefully someone that was honest, reliable, a good friend, and a good neighbor.
If someone paid you to write a blog or book about anything, what would it be about?
I enjoy reading, and I enjoy writing. If I was writing a book in college, I remember we were assigned reading a book about people and their work, and someone had gone around and interviewed a bunch of people about their work, what they liked, what they didn't like. I would enjoy getting out and talking with a lot of elderly people, kind of their thoughts on life and little snippets of things. I think that's an untapped resource, and that would be an enjoyable project to get that information and kind of use it for younger people as they make their way through life.
Bill, I think we found your first retirement project.
That might be.
When you're ready to
retire.
That
might be. That sounds good.
What was your first job?
First job was mowing lawns. Had a little lawn service. Started with my grandmother and then expanded from there.
That was in Great Bend?
Yes.
All right. Who inspires you the most and why?
Probably my parents. They're a very good resource on living and working and family, and both fortunate to be living still today. And I'm an adult, but they're still my inspiration.
What is your most prized possession?
Probably my wedding ring, not from a value perspective, but just for what it stands for and my commitment to my wife, Rochelle, and family. And I think a lot about that.
When your wife hears this, you are in. What is the one thing that instantly makes your day better?
My initial reaction to that is probably getting a hug from one of my daughters or my wife. That makes a pretty good day. It makes my day better.
Seems like a good answer to me.
Okay.
Do you prefer working remotely or in the office?
In the office.
Yeah,
I enjoy being around people and my coworkers and clients, and it's nice sometimes technology to have some flexibility if I'm out of the office for a business or meeting or something, but I'm an in-office person.
How do you deal with work stress?
Try and be on top of it, try and be as organized as possible, and then little exercise too. That helps with the stress level.
And then last question, what advice would you give the 19-year-old you?
To make sure you are passionate about what you're thinking about doing, and be passionate about your family life, and be passionate about who you surround yourself with. That makes a huge difference on just happiness and things in general. So all of those things, don't be afraid to chase your dreams, and be passionate about what you're doing.
All right, well, that's great advice. Bill, thank you for being on the podcast with us today. We appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me.
Thank your partners and all the people down there for everything they do for the Chamber, and congratulations again on your award.
Thank you very much, and appreciate the Chamber and all you do for Manhattan.
Thanks for listening to this episode of ThinkMHK, a podcast produced by the Manhattan Area Chamber of Commerce. If you enjoyed the ThinkMHK podcast, we'd love for you to subscribe and share it out on your social media channels. Feel free to reach out to us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at the Manhattan Area Chamber of Commerce.